It's amazing the questions you get when people realize that you preach. Did Jesus' feet get wet when He walked on the water? Oh, I guess. I have a friend at work who comes at me with all these different questions all the time. What about this? Was it really 3 days in the tomb? Was it this? Was it that? What do you think about this or that? One time he came up to me and he said, "Who's your favorite Bible character? Who do you want to be like?" I didn't hesitate. Peter. It's like, Peter? What about David? Great man of God. Beat Goliath. Became king. What about a great prophet, Elijah? What about Paul? He was you're a preacher, aren't you? How about Paul? He was a preacher. You could be like, don't you want to be like Paul? I said, I don't want to necessarily be like somebody that I'm not like. Peter was a hothead. Have you noticed? Who's the one that's always spitting off at the mouth? They're on their way to Jerusalem. Jesus is telling them, my time has come. It's going to happen. It won't be long. And Peter says, no, Lord, no, don't do it. And what does Jesus say? Get thee behind me, Satan. Peter's the one who pops it out of his mouth. Peter's always the one who's jumping when he doesn't know what's on the other side. He jumped out of the boat twice. One time he jumps out of the boat and starts walking on the water. And yeah, I do believe his feet got wet before he started to sink. The other time it's like, who is that standing over there? It's always Peter. It's Peter who said, Lord, I'll be with you to the bitter end. To the very last moment. If they string you up, basically, they'll be stringing me up too, because I'll be standing right there beside you. And it was, I don't know the man. No, you must be thinking about somebody else. I swear to you, I do not know who this person is. By the Temple Mount, I don't know who this person is. Cock-a-doodle-doo. There it is, right? I was trying to think of a way to tell you how to overcome this problem of going off the handle. And Kathy suggested, you seem to be better. Why don't you tell us how you did it? I haven't got it. But I'm fairly certain I know how he got it. You go back to that little episode on the beach. You go back to that little episode when Jesus finally brought him as close as he ever could. And he said to him, feed my sheep. There was that moment in Peter's life when all of a sudden it became crystal clear, and he took everything that was his and put it aside for Christ. And the only way you can do something like overcome whatever it is that you have to put Christ in charge, not you anymore. And that's an incredibly difficult thing to do. At least it was, as is for me. Peter seemed to achieve it. He was still the one. He was the first one after the resurrection, right? He was the one that we hear about. It's his sermon that we hear. It's his hands that pick up the leper that first time, or the lame man the first time at the gate, the temple gate. And he's still making mistakes. It's still Peter who Paul has to come. You're doing it wrong, Peter. You're doing it wrong. And yet through all of that, you come down to the 1 Peter, in 1 Peter 4, 12 through 16, and Peter says this, Beloved, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you. But rejoice to the extent that you partake of Christ's suffering, And when His glory is revealed, you may also be glad with exceedingly joy. If you are reproached for the name of Christ, blessed are you, for the Spirit of glory and of God rest upon you. On their part, He is blasphemed, but on your part, He is glorified. Peter is speaking from experience. And he's saying, you have to put yourself aside and put Christ first. I would hate to finish this up without letting you know that your brothers and sisters who are sitting around you want to pray with you. They want to see you overcome difficulties. If you have a problem in your life, they are more than willing to be the ones who, after we say a prayer, will come up here and hug all over you. And I don't think I'm speaking out of turn because I've seen it happen more than once. Is it problems with patience, anger? Does it matter? Fill in the blank. It's your brothers and sisters who are willing to help you. If there's anything we can do for you, anything as the church, you don't have to come forward. But if there's anything we can do for you, the church wants to do it for you. If you'll come forward as we stand and we sing this song.